Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about something huge. We're going to unpack a single night, just one night, that completely changed the tech world as we know it. So let's dive right in. So can a single night really rewrite the future? I know, it sounds pretty dramatic, like something out of a movie, right? But what if I told you that in the world of technology, this isn't just some hypothetical question? It actually happened. Okay, so get this date in your head, February 16th, 2026. On this one night, a bunch of things happened that, on the surface, seemed totally random, totally disconnected. But when you start to piece them together, wow, you see this massive shift in everything, from who holds power globally to the very future of artificial intelligence. All right, so let's set the scene. Think of these as the pieces on a chessboard. 6 big stories hit the news that night. And yeah, each one is pretty interesting on its own, but the real story, the big story, is what happens when you see how they all fit together. First up, infrastructure. The very bedrock of the internet started to shift. You've got this company, Oxide Computer, making a huge splash. They basically announced they're going to let big companies build their own private version of Amazon's cloud. At the exact same time, you have Starlink getting the green light in Vietnam, which pretty much completes its satellite internet blanket over all of Southeast Asia. Huge news. And look, we're not talking about some tiny startup with a cool idea. They raised $200 million. That's not just funding, that's a direct shot across the bow at giants like Amazon and Microsoft. It's a clear signal telling them, hey, the fight for the cloud is on. The whole idea is to stop sending every little bit of data to some massive central server and instead process it right where it's made. That's a total game changer. Okay, next piece of the puzzle, global power and hardware. This is fascinating. The world's biggest players in tech and government all met up to hash out the future rules for AI. But where did they meet? Not in Silicon Valley, not in Beijing. They met in New Delhi. That's a major signal. And while that's happening, we get news of this incredible new neuromorphic chip. It basically mimics the human brain, allowing robots to see with the efficiency of a human eye. We're talking a massive leap forward. And finally, the last 2 pieces hit a little closer to home, our entertainment and our jobs. First, the gaming industry went all in on remaking classic games. It kind of proves that sometimes the best way to sell brand new tech is with old, beloved stories. But the really big one, a new kind of AI agent called OpenClaw. This is where AI stops just giving you answers and starts doing things for you. We're talking about AI that can log into your accounts and automate entire parts of your job. Okay, so 6 stories. An infrastructure story, a geopolitical one, a hardware breakthrough. It's easy to just see them as 6 separate headlines and move on, right? But here's the twist. They aren't separate at all. If you do that, you miss the entire point. There's a deep, hidden connection, a single story tying all of this together. So now, let's connect the dots. We're going to peel back the layers here and show you the bigger picture, the real strategy that links every single one of these headlines into one massive, world-changing event. So, what's the one thing that connects all of this? It's simple, really. It all comes down to one thing: control over data. Think about it. Oxide is about controlling your data right where you are. Starlink is about controlling how data moves around the planet. The summit in New Delhi? That's about controlling the rules for data. And OpenClaw is about controlling the actions that data can take. This isn't just news, it's a global power struggle for data. And this points to a massive flip in how we even think about the economics of tech. You know, for decades, the motto was just more. More servers, more chips, more energy. That's how you grew. But this one night showed us a whole new equation. That new chip, it gets way better results with less power. Oxide's entire pitch is about being smarter, not just bigger. So the new rule is clear. Wealth isn't about brute force anymore. It's about intelligence and efficiency. And that AI summit in New Delhi, it wasn't just another conference. It was basically the debut of what we can call technology diplomacy. It's this idea that a country's power isn't just about its army anymore. It's about its tech scene, its market size, its engineers. India basically stood on the world stage and said, our technology is our power. And proved it. It could get a seat at the head of the table. Okay, now this is where it gets really good. This is the aha moment, because these 6 stories weren't just connected to each other in some abstract way. They were direct answers to some of the biggest problems that were being reported in the tech world on that very same day. Just look at this. In the morning, you have headlines about Google and Meta drowning in the costs of running AI. That same night, Oxide comes along with a solution for cheaper on-premise AI. Morning news, YouTube's launch on the Vision Pro is burning through battery life. That night, boom, a new super efficient chip that could solve that exact problem is announced. It's almost unbelievable, right? Problem, solution, all converging on the same day. So let's zoom out for a second and see the bigger historical picture. Technology evolves in these big waves, these generations. First, we had the PC and internet era, right? Microsoft, Intel. Then came mobile and the cloud, Apple, Google, Amazon. Well, what that night in February signaled is that we have officially entered the third great era, the age of AI and the distributed cloud. And it's being led by a whole new cast of characters. Okay, so what does all this mean for us right now? Why should you care about this one night from 2026? Well, let's get practical and break down exactly what this pivot means for today's leaders and decision makers. The message here is just incredibly clear. If you're Amazon or Microsoft, you better have an answer for what Oxide is doing, because the on-premise model is a real threat. If you're a mobile company, Starlink is coming for your business, plain and simple. You either get better or you get left behind. For software companies, AI agents like OpenClaw are the future. You either build them into your products or you become obsolete. And if you're in robotics, that new chip is your future. You have to adopt it. The rules of the game have literally been rewritten. You know, when you boil it all down, the biggest takeaway is this. Technology isn't just a tool anymore. It's not just something we use. It is power. The power to influence, the power to act, and the power to literally shape the world we live in. And all of that, it really brings us to one final crucial question. It's the most important one, and I want it to stick with you long after this is over. On that one night in February, the world didn't just get a few new gadgets. The very fabric of global power was rewoven. The deck was reshuffled. A new era kicked off. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready for it? Thanks for digging into this with us on The Explainer.